To define a structure variable or structure definition, we use struct keyword. By using this keyword, we will construct a data type. Okay, that is nothing but some identifier. This is the basic syntax. These are the members one data type. So these members also valid identifiers. Okay. So next number 2, number 3. So these are the members. Okay. This is the basic syntax of structures. Okay. This is nothing but we are creating a struct identifier data type. This is a data type. Why? Because we are creating a data type by using struct and identifier. So in order to create a structure definition, we will use this type of syntax. So we have to use these members. So then we need to go for variable declarations or definitions. So variables in the sense whatever the variable we need according to our requirement. So it follows identifier rules. So either we can declare the variables here, either e1, e2, or x, x1, x2, or inside a main function. So what is the use of declaring variables here, and what is the use of declaring variables here? So here struct identifier some variable name. Okay, so here why we have to use struct identifier in the sense this is the complete data type. We are using struct to create a data type. Okay, this is a keyword. Struct is a keyword. We will use this struct keyword to create a particular user defined data type. Okay, so when we declare a variable here, it will have file scope and it will be a global variable of type struct identifier. Okay, coming to this name is a variable which is a local variable. Okay, and its data type is struct identifier. Right, so here we have declared a variables either globally or locally. These are structure variables and this is data type. Why this is a data type? In the sense we are using struct keyword plus some identifier to create a user defined data type. Okay, in arrays also we will use int array name and their size. So this is a another defined data type. This is array. So we are using subscripts here. Okay, but here we are not using any subscript. Why? Because all the members are included in structure definition itself. So this structure definition is used for checking purpose only. So whenever we declare a variable below this identifier, okay, structure definition, then that variables will access these members. Okay, when compiler executes something, so it will execute this statement first. Okay, it knows some meaning. So there are some members, number 1, number 2, number 3, and so on. So whenever it checks the data type here, struct identifier some name, it will allocate these 3 members to this variable. Okay, this will allocate these 3 variables to these 3 members to this variable. Okay, is it clear? Or there any confusion? Hello. Declared inside a function, or whether it is declared above the main, then it will have some global scope, that is file scope. So the memory is allocated in data or BSS according to their initialization. This is for initialized, this is for uninitialized, right? So we have seen how to declare a variable, that is nothing but structure variable, and how to define their definition. Okay, this semicolon after structure definition is mandatory. This is nothing but syntax. Okay. So previously we have seen some examples. So these are some examples. This is a syntax, right? Here struct name is an data type and this is the definition. Okay, this completely comes under definition of a particular structure. The next structure variables, coming to this. So we have previously seen this example, right? Struct employee. Here struct employee is a data type. Okay, struct employee is a data type. Inside that struct employee, we have name as a member, ID as a member, salary as a member, grade as a member, gender as a member. So these are the members of different data types, or these two are also having same data type. So there may be same data type or different data types inside a struct employee data type. Okay. So coming to declarations or defining variables. Okay. So the variables may be defined at the time of declaration. Okay, structure definition or inside a main function, whenever it is necessary for the user. So here this e is declared, but the values for the e is not defined. So this will have global scope, that is file scope, and the memory is allocated in BSS segment. Why? Because uninitialized global variable. This is also a global variable of type struct employee, right? So the memory is allocated in BSS segment. Then coming to this E, here we have defined some values to E according to their order of members. So the values are initialized at the time of declaration only. So the memory is allocated in data segment. Why? Because initialized global variables comes under data segment. Okay. So the member definitions, these definitions will not have any values at particular instant. Definition inside a definition we cannot assign any values to these members. Okay, why? Because why we should not assign any values to particular members, because this is the some definition, right? This is nothing but like a blueprint. So this blueprint can be used for n number of variables, right? So for example, consider car. So car in the sense there are four wheels, some chassis, doors, engine, steering. So that is nothing but the members of particular car. So there will be four tires, engine, some exhaust, chassis, seats, backspace, next steering, some gear, clutch. So these are the members of car blueprint. Okay. So this blueprint can be used for n number of companies. For example, Tata Motors, BMW, Benz. So n number of cars or n number of different companies will use this blueprint. So we cannot assign what is the size, dimension, or so this is nothing but dimension. Telling the compiler that we will use this much of memory for particular member. Okay, so we cannot define their meaning at the time of definition of structure. Okay, so consider a car. So if there is a particular car without a blueprint, then that particular car is defined to particular company. Okay, there may be different designs and different dimensions for members. Okay, that is about the definition. These structure variables, this definition will be a blueprint for structure members, so that they can access these members. They will get the properties of these members when they are allocated, right? So we cannot define the values to these members at the time of definition. Why? Because these members are giving reference to n number of variables declared at the time of their use, right? This is about some declarations and definitions. So even we can apply. Anna చెప్పండి అన్న. హలో వినిపిస్తుంది, చెప్పండి అన్న. అవును. ఓకే. డెఫినిషన్‌లో. సో ఇదేంటి అంటే డెఫినిషన్ వచ్చేసరికి జస్ట్ రిఫరెన్స్ అంతే. వి కెనాట్ అసైన్ వాల్యూస్ టు డెఫినిషన్ ఆఫ్ స్ట్రక్చర్ వేరియబుల్స్, రైట్? దీనికి మనం డిఫైన్ చేయలేం. సో ఈ డిక్లేర్ చేసినప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందంటే ఈ ప్రాపర్టీస్ వస్తాయి. సో ఈ డిక్లేర్ చేసిన వెంటనే ఈ ప్రాపర్టీస్ అన్ని ఈకి అలొకేట్ అవుతాయి. ఓకే. సో ఈ విల్ కంటైన్ నేమ్, int id, salary, grade, gender. So these members are particular to this variable. Okay. So we can access these members and we can modify their values according to user's interest. Right? చెప్పు రానే. Okay, structure variables, we can use n number of variables according to their meaning. So when we consider employee type, we are using E, E1, E2, E3, E4, etc. So when we consider a car, according to our interest, that is nothing but we have to uh, clear with the variables. So we will use C1 or car1 or C2 or car2. So it is up to user's interest. That variable should be of particular meaning so that user can understand that that is particular to particular type or particular variable. Okay. C1, when we see C1, so we are using car, so this variable may be in dealing with car type. Okay. So E1, E2 or anything, when we consider books, we will take variables as B1, B2, B3. So that is up to user's interest. Okay. So even we can apply storage classes to increase their scope or to make them strictly allowed for only that scope. Okay. It's even static, extern, and next auto will be automatically applied for every type of variable. And then registers, why we cannot assign a structure variable with register keyword? In the sense, register keywords may have space for variables or may not have space for variables to store their data in CPU registers, right? So if there is a space, no, there will be no problem with that. If there is no space, we cannot access them. When we apply a keyword, there is nothing but register. So these values will be allocated in CPU registers if there is any space, or it will be allocated in stack frame of particular function. So this is a big data. Big data in the sense nothing but 44 bytes. So if there is a memory, they will be allocated in CPU registers, or else they will be allocated in stack frame of that function. So when we use these variables, okay, so we are dealing with pointer to that structure. So these won't be having any address if they are applied with register keyword. So we cannot access any structure variable with register keyword through pointers concept. Okay. So that's why in real time they won't use this register keyword for structure members, or not nothing but structure members, structure variables. Okay. Why? Because there is a huge space for structures according to their usage. Here we are creating employee type. So there may be another type that has more numbers than this. Is consider a 10 variables, 10 members in particular structure. So their size may be up to some 80 bytes or 85 bytes or something. So CPU registers may not have that much of memory for allocating this size. So there will be, these will be allocated in stack frame, but we cannot access their address, so that we are not using register keyword for employee or the structure variables. Is it clear now? Okay. Oh, so coming to accessing, right? Coming to accessing, we using dot operator. Okay, variable dot some member name, right? Variable dot member name. Okay, even we can use subscript for defining values to string constants. Okay, even we can use subscript for string constants, or we may use string copy. Why we cannot use e dot name for allocating this value? So when we use e dot name, for example, this is a string. So string name contains its address, right? So we cannot assign any string to address. We can assign anything to variable locations. Okay. When we consider gender, e dot gender. So e dot gender, what this gender will contain? This gender will contain the location. Okay. So when we pass any value to these locations, the value gets replaced in that locations. When coming to strings, strings names contain their address. We cannot assign any strings to that particular addresses. Is it clear? So we cannot assign directly to a strings to particular character array, right? Is it clear? So we can access the members by using variable name and member name. Variable name dot member name, so that it will gets referenced to particular location. Okay. So here we are using e.gen. So the compiler understands that, okay, E is a type of struct employee. So it will go to that location. Then dot gen. So okay, where will be the gen? Considering gen is here. So it will point to that location. Okay. It will directly gives the access to particular memory location, not the address. Why? Because it is a normal type of variable. Gen is a character type variable. So character type variables give access to their locations, not their addresses. Arrays will give the locations to addresses. Functions will also give their access to locations itself. Are you clear with this? So that we are using string copy function, or even we can use the subscripts for accessing the data. So this is nothing but e dot name in the e dot name of 0, in the sense e dot name into a plus. So e dot name plus 0 into size of this name variable. Name variable is character, so 0 into 1. So we will dereference this address. E name of 0 is nothing but star of e dot name plus 0 into size of character is 1. So for example, consider it is having 0x1020 here, 0x1000, okay, plus 0. So this is the address, but we are dereferencing this by using subscripts. Is it clear? So we are dereferencing this address with using subscript, nothing but dereferencing operator. Okay, this subscript will replace this dereferencing operator when executing. So this concept comes when there is use of pointers to array. Okay, nothing but pointers to array, arithmetic operations on pointers. So this is nothing but star of e dot name plus 0 into size of name. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear or not? Okay, so even we can use scanf functions, right? So in use when we are using scanf functions, we have to use efforts after reading character constants, right? Why? Because there may be some buffer in standard inputs. So even this comes under some logic that we will discuss further. Okay, so I think there is a logic for that, but I don't know whether it is correct or not. So after confirming that, I will explain you that. Okay, so after reading integer variable, there is no need of using fetch, right? So after reading character, if we want to read an integer or float or any other type of data, we must include a statement underscore underscore f purge stdin. So it will clear the buffer inside a particular scanf function. Okay, when we are reading single character or multiple characters, there may be a chance of blocking. Okay, there may be a chance of blocking that scanf function for large time, so it cannot read another variable's data, so it will get executed without reading these data. Okay, in order to overcome this, we will use underscore underscore f purge stdin. This concept is discussed when sir explained about scanf functions. Okay, right? So here we are using percentile s e dot name. Why we are using e dot name? In the sense, percentile s, yeah, address. So that is nothing but e dot name is nothing but address. So percentile s format specifier requires address, and it will dereference that address internally and access the location and reads the data from terminal, and it will get copied into particular locations. Which location? E dot name location, right? So that is why we are using percentile s for reading strings. So in case if we use C, so it will read the data multiple times and it will allocate the last data that we have entered through terminal, right? Or even we can use for loops. Okay, so even we can use for loops. Okay, this is for printing now. So for printing we can use for loops, or even we can use for loop for scanf also, if we know the exact count of how many members we should access or how many members we should read from the data or terminal. Okay, if there are 10 members or 10 characters that we can read from the terminal, then we can use a for loop I less than 10. Okay, I plus plus. So we can write a scan of percentile c comma e dot name of I, ampersand of e dot name of I, right? So we can see some printf statements here. Even these printf statements, e dot name, printing the string, next printing the address of that string. Next, this is an alternative. There is no need of writing this for loop for this statement. Why? Because we just need to print a string. So there is a necessity that we have to uh, make yeah, no need to type much lengthy code. We can use a single statement for printing that string. Okay, so then another variable, structure variables address. We have to print the structure variables address by using ampersand. So the next ID, salaries, grades, gender. These are the basic printf concepts. So you can get the clear knowledge about this. Okay. So with dot operator, without operator. Okay. So when we consider these two statements, without dot operator and with dot operator, this is nothing but initializing a variable some values by using dot operator and without dot operator. So when we consider a without dot operator, okay, we will give the values according to their order of members. Even if we don't assign the values according to order of members, there may be a chances of getting garbage values in this. Okay, why? Because we are assigning a character to integer or character to float, so there may be a chance of getting some garbage values. So it is recommended to use a format, particular format as a order of these members. First there is a name, so we have to assign name first, next ID, next salary, next gender, next grade. So this is the order. We have to remember the order while we are assigning without dot operator. So when considering a dot operator, we don't know, we don't want to remember all those order of, need to remember the members of particular structure, and we will use dot operator to assign values to particular location or particular variable. So this statement will read the values. This will be first one will be dot name. So whatever the value we have provided here at the first input, that will be replaced in name itself. Either you may enter 0 or 10 or 20 or 1.256. This will be stored in this name itself, right? So in order to avoid that miscommunication with the structure variables and members, we will use dot gen. So this statement is nothing but e dot gen is equals to m. Next e dot grade is equals to j. Next e dot salary is equals to 25,000. E dot id is equals to 1. E dot name is equals to Raju, right? So this will be assigning values to particular members of a variable structure variable by using dot operator. So there is no need of remembering the order, just we need to remember the members of particular structure itself, right? So even we have another concept that we can assign the values directly from one variable to another variable without accessing members when the data type of both variables is same, right? So here E1 and E. So these are of type employee. Okay. So when these are of same type, then we can directly assign the value to both variables. Either E1 contains the data or E contains the data. When E contains the data and it have to copy it for the E1, then we'll use this statement. And if E1 contains the data and E have to get the data, so then we will use this statement. So this is nothing but directly assigning members data into another variable of same type. So this will be copied one by one internally. Okay. This is the mechanism behind assigning the variables directly, assigning the data present in one variable to another variable of same data type, right? So if there are different members, then we can use e1 dot some x is equals to e dot some y. So here the data gets copied here. Okay, the data gets copied here. Whatever the data present here e dot y, that will be copied into e1 dot x. There are no limitations that both should be of same type. Okay, here consider it as a b dot y. So here b is a type book and e1 is a type employee. So we can access the or we can assign the values present in one data type to another data type by writing individual statements. Is it clear? Hello. So next coming to pointers. Okay, pointers. So we have seen about some previously we have seen pointers concept, right? So in that pointers we are assigning particular elements or particular variables base address to pointer, and we will dereference or access the data using this pointer. But coming to structure pointers, this will point the entire variable and it will access the locations of individual elements when we use arrow and member. So this is a member, this is the pointer. Okay, so when we use this arrow, this pointer first goes to this location and will check for the member's address, and it will goes to that member and access that locations. Is it clear? So this array is nothing but minus and right angular bracket. Is it clear? So here there are some examples. So the even structure members, structure pointers are of size according to their architecture bitrate. That is, if that is a 64-bit machine, 64 bits in the sense 8 bytes. So pointer will be allocated with 8 bytes memory, right? Here there is an example that struct employee E, some Razu 1 2000 other 20,000 male junior. So we are assigning a pointer variable of type struct employee. Okay. So we are assigning this variable's base address to this pointer by this statement. So when we consider a 40 size of E, it is 44 bytes, but actually we have 42 bytes. Okay, so nothing but 32 plus 4 plus 4 plus 1 plus 1. Why it is 42 bytes, but the memory is allocated for 44 bytes? So you may have this doubt. So this is nothing but the memory is allocated according to CPU cycles. Okay, the CPU cycles and structure padding, that we call as structure padding. Okay, so that we will discuss further. Then coming to accessing members by using pointers of type structure pointers. So in order to print a string, so what we have to need, so for writing these statements we have %p hyphen %s. These two requires addresses, right? So ptr of ptr arrow name, so this will give the address of particular variable. Okay, so this will give the address of particular variable. Why? Because this is a character array, so it will give the address. Okay, so if it is not a character variable, it will give the location. Is it clear? So when we are using ptr arrow some id, okay, uh, ptr some arrow id, it will locate to id's memory, right? Why? Because id contains, or id gets reference to locations, not addresses, right? So it will give the pointer will access the locations when we use a normal variables. When coming to name, this is a type character array, so it will have addresses here. So it will provide the addresses at the time of using ptr arrow name, right? So it will get the address of name variable and it will get the address of name variable. So to print a string, we need address of particular location. So it will print the string present in it and address present for that character array. Next coming to %p %d/n. So here comes the concept. Here we are using ptr of name. Here we are using ampersand to get the address of this particular location. So when we have a normal variable a, to get the variable's location, we use ampersand. Same as that, this pointer variable is locating to particular id's memory. So in order to get the location's address, we will use ampersand here, right? Are you clear with this? Okay. Next, ptr of id, it will point to the id's memory location. So it will get the data from id and it will print at the locations whenever a printf statement is invoked, right? So same as salary, then